Hey, you all. I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing good. And I was just thinking about how I'll recommend for individuals to go outside. But since the weather had changed, we had some rain, we had a little bit of cold, and I'm not the one that's super excited to go outside when it's cold. I hadn't been getting outdoors as much as I intended. And so just thinking about that, I was amazed at how what I assumed was not actually taking place. And that's why I said it's so important to actually stop and pause. And I did that. And so in that pause, I realized that I needed to make some changes. And so now I've intentionally changed my break, the time I take from doing my work, to go outdoors. So I've started implementing that since yesterday, thank goodness. And now I just wanted to bring some information to you all as a reminder as to why it's so important to go outside. Now, we've might have heard about it being a benefit. Sometimes we might have heard about it not being good. Some individuals say, oh, no, it's not good to be outside. Being in the sun is not good for your body or your eyes or whatever, your skin or that sort of thing. And it's just really interesting how we have these concepts that aren't accurate scientifically and as far as the evidence that's available, but they're common beliefs. And so I wanted to share some information with you today just to encourage you to take some time to get outdoors and some of the ways that it can benefit you and some of the ways that you can actually start to implement this into your day. Now, the first thing I wanted to mention about getting outdoors is the benefit of vitamin D. Our bodies were designed to get vitamin D from the sun. And if we, look back in time, we'll see how when culture was a bit different, that we spent a lot of time outdoors. And these issues that we have today, they're not as common. Of course, that's not the only thing, but it has a huge impact. There are even hospitals. I saw a documentary probably a few months ago on how they would have I guess I could call it sunbathing areas on the roof or on the top of the hospital, and they would periodically take the patients up there that were sick. That was part of the healing process. And, it makes sense because vitamin D it affects every component of our body, almost every function that needs to be performed within our body to allow us to continue to live. One of the things that kind of tricked me into thinking that I was actually getting outdoors was the fact that I'm around windows. And so even when I'm, working from home, I position myself in front of a window like I am now because it's great. I love the view. It's calming. It's relaxing. I can see nature. But in my head, I'm thinking I'm in nature, but I'm not. I'm just looking at it. And there's a big difference between just looking out of a window and actually being in it. So be mindful of those things. It's easy to assume we're doing one thing and we're not. That was my recent experience. So yeah, it's important to get outdoors and get into the sun. You're going to be able to affect your hormones, your immune system, very important. And then also, of course, for the strength of our bones. And the thing about it is that when you're outdoors, if you also incorporate some movement, then you're really going to help to impact the strength of your bones, which is really important after the age of 40. Now, the other benefit that you get when you go outside, and many of you have experienced this, is your mood. I mean, how many times, like how I said, I was looking out a window and looking at nature, that change in my mood is so much different. I remember, and even now the gym is still there. There was a gym and they had more than one location. I preferred to go to one location versus another because of the fact that one had open windows and how that changed the ambiance, whereas the other one is almost like a cave. There were no windows aside from when you first walk in, and then you go back into a tunnel and turn the corner, and how that changed the whole mood. And so the mood is what's so important. Of course, our mood affects other things as well. It affects our ability to communicate, our relationships. It affects our cortisol level. It helps for our brain to be more clear, and we relax. We can think better. Many people, they say, you know what, when I take a walk, that's when I get all my good ideas, or that's when I can communicate better with my spouse, my children, so on and so forth. So you all getting outdoors will also give you the benefit of a mood. And who doesn't want any opportunity to improve their mood? I do. Okay, let's get all the benefits that we can, and it's free. The next thing, you all, is that benefit with our spirit and soul connection. Now, I'm reminded of a passage in the Bible that says, "Be still and know that I'm God." When you're outside, you're in nature, and you're seeing the trees, the flowers, you're in the sand, the water, whatever it might be, your nervous system relaxes, and this has a physical effect. And when we're more relaxed, we have a better chance of hearing what God is trying to communicate to us, to receive from God. And everything good and perfect comes from God. So I want to make sure that I'm doing all that I can to keep the lines of communication open with me and God. And having a clearer mind, which is what being outdoors helps you to do, is going to give you a better connection with God, in your spirit and your soul. So this is another huge benefit. And of course, that connection is then, once again, still going to positively affect your health. Nobody goes to a peaceful environment and then they pray to God and they say, I just felt worse after I prayed to God. No one ever. So, this is another component that's so important. Now, if you are, ill and you can safely get outdoors, then definitely give yourself the ability to do so. I used to take my dad outside, put him in a wheelchair. We'd go outside and we'd sit outside. I would give him foot massages and manicure and a manicure outside. And I mean, just the healing effect that it had on his body and his mood. It's so beneficial. Even when COVID was around and some of the gyms took their equipment outdoors, I actually liked that. I was like, wow, this outdoors. It was great. Like the machines were out there and everything. And it was just a positive benefit. The other thing was when the nail shops, they started to take their chairs and things outside and do pedicures outside. I was like, this is a great idea. It was so nice. Another thing, you all, that you can do in regards to doing this is, like I said, take a break, from your work when you're outdoors, okay? Set an alarm on your phone. Something that helps me, just set that alarm when it goes off, close everything up or whatever it is, secure your space, and then go outside. And then just clear your head. I like to go outside and pray. Maybe I'll see someone that's out there and I can, share a few words of encouragement, whatever it might be, and you feel so much better there. And so this is what I want to challenge you all to do, is to get outdoors, set that alarm, be intentional about it. I'm telling you, it feels so much better. And then get your body in contact with nature. Like, just go stand on the grass, or if you're by, the beach or whatever, go do that. But don't make it a complex thing. If you don't have any grass or anything you can stand on, I mean, just go out in nature. Sometimes you can, if you're not able to stand or you have any illness, you can just go and sit on a bench or take your chair out there and sit and just maybe, extend your legs out and back. You can still do whatever movement you can do, but, take in the nature, take in the vitamin D, and you will appreciate the benefits. So I hope that was helpful, you all. I'll talk to you soon. You have a good day.